been a while since I posted on my personal YouTube channel because there were a few things that happened when I was in France. It just made it hard to get excited about making videos. So I thought it was important to get on and talk about it because sometimes hard things happen, and these are like big life changes that we're going through. So the first thing that happened is I told myself when we left for France, no new clients. And as soon as we got over there, I got people asking me to work with them. And it's like one of those things that I've always told myself that I wouldn't get upset about. Like, if I could only be so fortunate as to have clients who would work with me, right? But when we got over there, it was very much I want to help these people and I want my business to grow, and I like money. I mean, there's that. But taking on clients meant that I had to give up this time that I have in France. Like, I've worked for this trip to France for like 10 years, and now I have to give that up so I can work. And that was not fun. I did not like that part. So my assistant lectured me at the end of the trip. She was like, "Brooklyn, you're so sad compared to like how I thought you would be, like living and working in France. So we need to initiate a waiting list for your clients." So she's helping me work on that. So that was the first thing that happened that was difficult, more difficult than I expected. The second thing that happened was we got unexpected news that a close friend in our little board game group of couples that we have, she passed away unexpectedly. And that was very hard. We didn't even know how to process something like that. And I don't feel like I completely have processed it. But she was like our age and they didn't have kids, and like now the husband is left on his own. And so we've been doing a lot of praying and thinking about that. And I was facing everything that we did in France with this mentality of like, oh, if I'm not here tomorrow, what would I regret not having done? And that's a completely different take on life. It was a lot. So that was hard as well. And the third thing that was hard is my biggest client. I love working with her. It's so much fun. She made a 10-year goal for herself on the impact she wanted to have in the industry, which I think is a great way to view our businesses. A lot of advisors will have the goal of, I'm gonna make $1 million of revenue, or I'm gonna have X amount of AUM. And I feel like that's so arbitrary. Like, my husband is giving me some feedback on what motivates him, which is not so much like making money at the end of the day. He wants to work for a company that has other values besides money. And so I get super excited to work with this client because her 10-year goal is to develop a program to provide a career track within her firm, and then to teach other advisors how to build and implement their career track. And we're calling it a talent development program. And it's so much fun. She wants to impact 50 advisors before she turns 50. And this is how we're going to do that, 50 female advisors. So we're building this program to hire and develop and mentor a lot of female talent in the industry. And I'm looking at this program, I'm building it for her. I'm saying, okay, here's our 3-year goal. Here's our 1-year goal. Here's what we need to do every quarter, like our quarterly rocks. If you're an EOS fan, if you're not, look up Entrepreneurial Operating System. It's amazing. But I was looking at this and building it for her, and I got so excited. I was like making her dream come alive. That's like my job for her. And then I look at my business and I don't have a 10-year goal, and I don't have any kind of big, hairy, audacious goal on how I'm going to impact the industry. And it's not because I don't care. I feel like part of it, starting out as a young business owner, it's like, well, like, let's just make money. Let's keep the doors open, and then we can pick some big, hairy, audacious goals. But now that I'm 18 months in, it's like, okay, I need to do this, and I don't know how. I can't do this for myself the way I can do it for her. It's different, turning the lens on yourself for a change. So I was struggling with that a little bit also because I was holding myself and my growth as a business to her standards of a company that she actually acquired and she has hundreds of thousands of dollars of income every year to fund her initiative of impacting the industry. And you know what? I didn't acquire a company. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to impact the industry, but I was holding myself to those same standards because I'm doing this for her and it feels real. I'm making it come to life, and I can't do it for myself, but I want to. I don't even have the bandwidth to sit down and think about what my 10-year goal should be or how to make that happen, like get a step closer this year. So I came back from France and I've been talking to my assistant. We have some vision days on the calendar, but all of these things were happening in France that were so bad. Like, it was very hard. I actually cried a lot when we were in France because, like, it was hard to process all of these things, and you don't want to talk about that because being over in France should be like beautiful and wonderful and a like once in a lifetime trip is what people would message me on Facebook, and I would be over there like, yeah, okay. But what made the difference is I have a monthly call with my counselor. We do it virtually, so I was able to meet with her when we were in France. And my first call with her in August went really well. I was like, I love Paris. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Like, I love this trip. And then all these things happened, like the longer that we stayed. And my second call with her, I was like talking to her about all of these hard things. And she is just a counselor. She's not a business consultant. But at the end, she was like, well, Brooklyn, I'm really glad we were able to talk about these things. But I just have to pause and recognize that it sounds like you're holding yourself to the same standard that you're holding your client who has more resources and more time and experience under her belt. And hey, she's not trying to build a service model for exit coaching that has never existed in the world before. Like, your hurdles are different and harder because you're on your own and doing this on your own. And like, I know I told you that a minute ago before I mentioned the counseling, but I didn't realize what I told you until I had the counseling. And then it was like, oh my gosh, the lights went on, and I was like, I can't punish myself for my business being where it is today. Like, look where it is compared to 18 months ago. Like, I need to be celebrating. Like, not only have we kept the lights on, but I have 4 people on my team, me and 3 others, and we're so blessed, and we got to go to France this year, and there are so many things to be thankful for and so much life to love that I don't want to be miserable. But sometimes it takes processing all of this stuff and hiring a counselor to work through it. So I think the point of me wanting to share all of this stuff is that hiring a counselor, finding a counselor, someone that I can talk to, has been monumentally life-changing for me. Like I said, I talk with her once a month, and I have been. I had a different counselor when I worked for my family's business, just family things. Sometimes it's helpful to talk stuff through with someone, but now that I'm on my own, I need someone to talk to even more. You know, I work from home 100% by myself 100% of the time. And sometimes it's helpful to just talk things through with people because you get in your head, you get in your own way. And like, talking to someone doesn't mean you have a mental health issue. It means that you're taking care of yourself. And it's really exciting to see how much I've grown as a person because of all the conversations that I've had with my counselor. So I would definitely encourage anyone who's going through similar things to get a counselor of your own. You don't have to shell out 30 grand for a business coach. I was talking to another business coach and they were like, I charge 30 grand a year. And I was like, no, I can't hire you. But someday I will have a coach and a counselor. Until then, a counselor is life-changing for me. Highly recommend.